Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Overthink It Podcast. My name is Brett James, and I'm joined by my co-host, Darian Harris, man. Episode 9 in the building. We got the AFC Championship game and NFC Championship game, which just concluded yesterday, January 28th. You guys are hearing this podcast on the last day of January, man, January 31st, man. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Darian, I know you guys were missing me a little bit last week, man. Your boy was getting over COVID. Your boy was sick, man, but I appreciate you guys sticking around with me, letting me get healthy and getting ready to enjoy some football, man.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you back, dog. I know that COVID is not a joke. I had it myself back in 2021, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think I actually
Big
even had
COVID.
it. Yeah, I had it in 2022 too, as well. I had it twice.
Damn.
Yeah, but the second time wasn't that bad. The first time was just, they said once you get it the first time, like the second times, and after that it shouldn't be that bad. But nah, COVID's still around, man. So people still wash your hands, cover your face if you're feeling sick, and whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. But COVID is definitely still around, man. I don't even know if we're even out the pandemic yet, but
No, especially
yeah.
especially with the way it's been spiking lately. I don't know if you've been seeing some of the numbers, man, but man, everyone's been getting sick. Everyone's been out here getting
Yeah,
sick.
definitely a lot of people have been getting sick for sure. You mentioned January 31st, dog. I feel like this month has gone by so slow, bro. I don't know what
It
it is,
has,
man,
man.
but this month has been draining. But February is gonna fly by. We know that's the shortest month of the year, but it's a leap year too. But nah, man. Glad to have you back, ready to pod. And excited to recap these games because a lot of interesting things happened in conference championship weekend for sure.
Most definitely. A lot of storylines went on. Me and Darren, we're going to go ahead and talk about the AFC Championship game first and foremost, just because that was the first game that was played, right? What was it, a 3:30 game or 3 o'clock game,
Three
actually,
o'clock.
on, Sunday afternoon. You had Kansas City at Baltimore, the number 1 seed. Baltimore put together probably their best regular season that we've had in recent memory. Lamar Jackson playing at the top of his game, and they could not get it done. They lost that game 17-7, and I'm speaking for me. I definitely was rooting for Lamar and the Ravens in that game. What about you?
Oh, and most definitely, I was.
All right,
I just
good.
want to see Lamar to not only get to the Super Bowl, but I just wanted to see him just knock off that narrative that he's an underperforming playoff quarterback, man. And I just wanted to see him, you know, finish the job.
Yeah. I will say, though, the goalpost keeps moving with him because from the time he came in the league, it was, he can't play the quarterback position. He can't lead a team. He did all that. He got his team to the postseason. I was like, all right, he can't win in the postseason. Well, now he can't get to the divisional round. He got to the division round. Well, now he can't get to the conference championship. Now he's the conference championship. Like that next one that he's going to get is going to at least be getting to the Super Bowl. I'm not worried. I know Lamar Jackson at some point is going to win a Super Bowl for the Baltimore Ravens. It just sucks, man, because you really felt like this Baltimore team had what it had it all in a wide open AFC, a year where it looked like the Chiefs were not the Chiefs that we've been accustomed to seeing, and they couldn't get the job done at home, man. Just go ahead and first of all, man, tell me about the game. Tell me about your thoughts and experiences with it, and just kind of your overall takeaways first and foremost, man.
Credit to the Chiefs. You can never underestimate the heart of a champion. Coming to this matchup, I didn't think this game was going to be close at the halftime. I had the Ravens winning 31-17. I got the Chiefs score right, but not the Ravens. They came out with a sense of urgency, like all championship teams do in these moments, right? We've seen it with the Patriots in years past. We've seen it with, Denver Broncos with Peyton Manning. We've seen with the Colts and Peyton Manning. Just guys that have been around this game and they know what it takes. Teams that have been around in these situations, they know what it takes. Same thing with the basketball, with the NBA. When it comes to the Warriors, the Cavs, or LeBron, you just know what it takes. And they came out with a sense of urgency, and I think it caught the Ravens by surprise, especially offensively. Against the Texans, the Ravens had a very slow start offensively, and they got things going in the second half. We saw that same thing happen against the Chiefs. However, they were unable to recuperate like they did against the Texans a week prior. I think this Chiefs defense, we have to give them a lot of credit, man. They've been the best defense, one of the best defenses in football this entire season. Steve Spagnuolo's done a hell of a job with that unit, man. Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Chris Jones, of course. What's the guy's name?
Chris
The edge
Jones,
rusher. George
Karlaftis.
Karlaftis, Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel. I mean, those guys have been playing some amazing football this entire season, and they proved once again, man. As to the Ravens, Like I said, you slept walking to this game. You come in a bit unprepared, in my opinion. I think the defense got things going big time in the second half. We've seen it the entire season, right? I feel like as a play caller, Mike McDonald thrives in second half adjustments. But Todd Monken called a terrible game, in my opinion. Biggest takeaway was that they were unable to establish a run game. I think running backs only had 8 carries, split between 2 running backs and Gus Edwards,
Justice Hill.
and they had someone else that had a few carries too. I forgot who it was. But just 8 carries. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson had 8 carries himself. So Todd Monken failed to establish a run game. And it's a bit weird because the Ravens, as we all know, have the number 1 rush offense in football. And the Chiefs a week prior gave up 182 yards to the Buffalo Bills in a rushing attack. So I think that's bad coaching. Also, another takeaway, a lot of players started pressing. I thought Kyle Van Noy didn't show that veteran leadership that we all know he has during his time with the Patriots, right? He's had moments with the Miami Dolphins, of course, like that, but he has championship pedigree with the New England Patriots. And he got a bit, he let his emotions take the toll of the defense, right? I think they had a lot of personal fouls defensively that could have been held back if they would have just, played a lot smarter and better IQ. And also, offensively, I think players are desperate to make a play. Zay Flowers, hell of a rookie season. I think he has a very bright future in this league and also for this Baltimore Ravens team. But that fumble was costly. I'm not going to put the blame on him for sure. He was just trying to make a play, but, huge forced fumble by L'Jarius Sneed. And next time going forward, you got to tuck the ball. You know what I'm saying? I know you're trying to leap, get in the end zone, get a quick touchdown, get your defense back on the field to get a stop. But that was unfortunate, right? Also, Lamar Jackson, I feel like he was pressing. I think a lot of times he was a bit antsy in the pocket. He didn't deliver the throws we've seen accustomed from him the entire season. He let a few throws airmail. I think the Isaiah Likely interception was bad, terrible in my opinion. I'm not sure why Isaiah Likely put his hands up as if he was open, but he was triple covered, right? And Lamar made a terrible read on that play. But like I said, the offense had zero groove. I'm not going to put this loss on the refs either. I think the refs didn't alternate anything of outcome of this matchup. I just think the Ravens, they played soft. And it's very unfortunate, dog. I mean, it's very unfortunate because 13-4 MVP year from Lamar Jackson, dominating on both sides of the football, and they come up short once again in the postseason to a team that coming into this matchup, dog, we didn't think this Chiefs team could hang around after the second half, in my opinion. So, like I said, credit to the Chiefs. Can't underestimate the heart of a champion. Patrick Mahomes is going to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in the last 5 years. And I'm about to say the Patriots, the Ravens are back to square one, in my opinion, man. They have a lot of soul searching to do this offseason. You know what I'm saying? They got to bring in some better pieces offensively, and they got to figure out how to get over this hump next season. So we'll see.
They do got to figure out how to get over that hump. And I do appreciate all those words that you said. Couple things I want to get off of my head and my chest when it came to this game, the Ravens season, the Chiefs season, how they've overcame a lot of adversity. Let me start with Kansas City just by giving them credit. I sure as hell would not have picked them to come out of the AFC going into the postseason. And here we are. They're going to represent the AFC. Like you said, heart of a champion. Andy Reid, obviously one of the best coaches in all of football, arguably the best coach in all of football, finds a way to get his team prepared. They look like they're the team that's hungry on the road. And obviously Patrick Mahomes had not won road postseason games because he hadn't played in road postseason games. And he did it twice. He did it at Buffalo after beating Kansas City at home. And then he went on the road and beat the number 1 team in Baltimore. And despite Patrick Mahomes not having a great second half, if you take away that MVS catch, I believe it was 32, 33 yards at the end of the game, which sealed the game. Mahomes only had 36 yards in that second half, right, prior to that MVS. So he only finished with like 66, 67 yards in that entire second half. That is a credit to Baltimore's defense for limiting Kansas City to 17. If you would have told me going into this game, Kansas City would score 17 points, 17 points, and it would all come in the first half, I would tell you Baltimore's going to win this game. I think anybody would have told you Baltimore would have won this game. But that's a credit, like I said, to Mahomes and Kansas City's offense for still finding a way to gut it out. Even though they didn't get it done in the second half, where they punted the ball 5 possessions, all 5 possessions, excluding, like I said, the MVS one at the end. They did enough to get the job done. Kansas City's defense, like you said, Spagnuolo has done an incredible job with that unit. They've been one of the most underrated one of the most underrated defenses in all of football. And even though this isn't the Chiefs team that we're, used to and accustomed to, where it's a high-flying offense. They can go put up 40 points on any given Sunday. This is a team that relies on their defense. That's what this team has been about, especially come postseason time once you get into colder weather. And Patrick Mahomes goes out there and makes the plays when necessary. What was it? 9 targets, 9 receptions in that first half for Travis Kelce. You know what's coming and you still can't stop it, right? It's not just the Ravens. This goes for the entire NFL. This is the greatest quarterback / skill position chemistry we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Between, I just think it's at that point where we talk about Travis Kelce and Mahomes like that. Now, getting off of Kansas City, giving them the credit, let me talk about Baltimore. I was very, very disappointed in Baltimore in this game because what have they proven to me all season long? They can go out there and they can compete and hang with the best of the best and not just beat the best teams in football, dominate the best teams in football. Go to San Francisco and get a dominating win. Beat the crap out of the Miami Dolphins. Beat the Jaguars. They go out there and they beat every team above 500, and they go out there and they assert their dominance, and they look like the complete opposite on Sunday afternoon. And like you said with Lamar Jackson, there was just times where he looked indecisive in the pocket, sometimes to a fault where he was holding onto the ball too long, not utilizing his legs enough, which is something he's been criticized about in the past, taking off with his legs, not going through his full progressions and his reads. And sometimes he would hang back there in the pocket too long, and it ultimately ended up, costing the team the win, the drives faltering, etc. And I'm just disappointed, man, because I do give Baltimore's defense a lot of credit. Like I said, once they got to halftime, they said, nope, we're not going to let Kansas City go out there. They're not going to continue to drive down the field on this. They're not going to score anymore. We're going to make sure that they punt 5 times, but the offense could not get it going. You talk about Zay Jones, diving into the end zone. That's the play that we're all going to look back as the turning point of the game, right? I believe it was 10 minutes still left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was
plenty of the fourth quarter.
Plenty of time,
right?
Yeah, it was a lot of time. Yeah,
plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. Zay Jones goes for, a big play that could have potentially, like you said, put the defense back out there. Baltimore gets the momentum, especially with Kansas City and the way that their offense was playing. You're giving your team a chance towards the end. And, it's just a bang-bang play, and L'Jarius Sneed just happened to make a great play on the ball. I'm just, like you said, just disappointed because I know Lamar Jackson can play better than this. He didn't even play a horrible game. I guess to his standards, he didn't play a great game. But in general, that is still a very good game when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things. And it's just disheartening because that Lamar Jackson is capable of doing a lot better than what happened on Sunday afternoon, and this Baltimore team just really fell flat on their face.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he played an atrocious game. He didn't do anything, in my opinion, to be enough to win, I would say, but he played very pedestrian. I just felt this offense is still missing one or two things: a bona fide wide receiver 1, or a legitimate running back they can lean on. In games like this, I think a move like a Derrick Henry would be beneficial, or a Josh Jacobs, a Saquon Barkley, who are all free agents this offseason, right? I don't know what the wide receiver trade market might look like, or the free agency market outside of Gabe Davis, T. Higgins, Curtis Samuel, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr.
I think Mike Williams is a free agent.
Mike Williams as well. They got to find one of the two, or maybe both this offseason, right? Because this offense is still missing some dynamic playmakers. OBJ, love OBJ a lot, man. 30 years old. It is what it is at this point in his career, right? I think he's a serviceable wide receiver 3, if that. Maybe wide receiver 2, if that, right? Rashad Bateman, that was a flop of a pick looking back, right? Dealing with injuries. He can't find his groove offensively. He's not what they have. He's not what they need at the wide receiver position. I love Isaiah Likely. He's a big-time tight end. I think he should have got more touches, but for some odd reason, he didn't. And Mark Andrews, when healthy, is a top 3 tight end in football, and I honestly don't believe he should have played this game. And then you have Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, Dalvin Cook, who didn't see the field, of course, who's going to be gone in the offseason, I'm pretty sure. And they have an okay offensive line. I think their tackles and Ronnie Stanley and Morgan Moses have been getting a bit abused the last few weeks, but regardless, they're pretty solid, right? I just think this team is missing a bona fide playmaker on the offense outside of Lamar Jackson. Like I said, Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews are their best 2 receiving options, but they got to get some more or lean more on the run game with the solidified RB1. Because in a game like this, when the passing attack is obviously not working. You have Spagnuolo damn near blitzing you every possession. You can counter the blitz by running right at it. That's how you beat the blitz. You run right at it. You make these guys get out of those blitzing lanes. You make them guys get out the box. Well, they probably play more so in the box and, try to have like 8-man fronts and stuff like that. And then you take shots down the field. But to beat the blitz, you must run out the blitz. And they weren't able to do that. They didn't even really attempt to do that. You know what I'm saying? I felt as if when Gus Edwards got on the field, when he made his runs, they got some big chunk plays out of it, some solid chunk plays, but they just, negated it. But yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate, man. You mentioned about this Mahomes and Kelsey being probably the best quarterback and receiver duo in NFL history, playoff history, and I get that, right? You have, of course, Brady and Rob Gronkowski's up there, but Mahomes and Kelsey are definitely on their way. But you also mentioned that you believe Lamar Jackson will get a Super Bowl championship eventually. I want to counter that, man. I don't see it as of right now. Not because he's not good. I think he's one hell of a quarterback. I think he's top 2. I don't see anybody better than him.
I agree.
Outside of Mahomes.
Except for Mahomes. Yes. I agree.
But I talked about it in my live last night on my TikTok, and I'm going to talk about it more throughout the Super Bowl run for the Chiefs. This dynasty run by Mahomes is ridiculous. It's even more potent than Brady, in my opinion. At least Brady. Yeah, for sure. I know Brady was longer, of course, more of
longevity
for sure. But even when Brady came off 2 championships or 3 championships during that three-peat with whatever they went on in the early 2000s, there was breaks in between for 5 to 6 years of them not winning another championship. Mm-hmm. You had Peyton grab one, Drew Brees grabbed one, Big Ben grabbed one. I'm trying to think of anybody else that might have grabbed one as well. Eli Manning grabbed 2. There was a minute before the Patriots won one again within that time span. As of right now, I don't see anybody who's going to step up. I mean, Joe Burrow had a chance. Matthew Stafford did it, and Tom Brady did it. But Tom Brady's gone. In retirement, I mean. Who's going to step up? Everybody says Josh Allen is next up. He can't even get back to the conference championship.
Nope.
This is Lamar Jackson's first time in the conference championship. Maybe Joe Burrow can get back here because he was already here 2 times in a row. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Tua. I mean, which quarterback in the AFC is going to be able to stop this man from getting to where they all want to be? I don't see anybody right now. I really don't, man, because anytime they face this team, the opposing team, they just respectfully nut up. Joe
Burrow is the only active quarterback in the AFC that's beaten Mahomes in the postseason, right?
Yes.
Right. That's not right. Okay. So it's only Burrow, and it was one game.
Yes. One game. And if you all remember that game, the Chiefs were up 24-10 going into halftime in that matchup. Joe Burrow and that Bengals defense had an amazing comeback, and everyone's saying
the Bengals the following season they could have won again if Joseph Asai didn't have that penalty at the end. Cincinnati could have beaten them again, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and then for those out there saying like, oh yeah, well we should consider Joe Burrow the second best quarterback in football because he's the only one that can beat Mahomes. Well, it's deeper than that. I think that Bengals defense played a huge part into why that Chiefs offense was struggling against them and almost lost to them twice. And why the Bengals have just been a very good matchup against this Chiefs team because they're what's the word? They're the equalizer to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So our kryptonite, we can use that as well. But every other team in the AFC, they just can't go toe to toe with these guys, man. Like they just fall. They look good first 2 quarters or whatever the case may be, but they let the Chiefs hang around and they always find a way to come out of these matchups, man. But it's like Michael Jordan during the 90s with the Bulls, right?
That's got to be the closest thing. That's got to be the closest thing to what Mahomes is doing right now. Is the 90s Bulls.
Yeah. He stopped Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, the Pistons, Gary Payton. Who else? The Knicks,
Charles Barkley,
the Magic. Yep, Charles Barkley. I mean, everybody that Michael Jordan faced on his way to a championship. It was some great guys that didn't win a ring because of him. Olajuwon only reason why Olajuwon got to himself is because
MJ was out of the league.
Exactly. So, who the hell is going to step up and grab a championship in this AFC? Not named Mahomes. NFC. I mean, he's probably going to lose this one. We'll talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. Against
Who's
Brock Purdy and those guys, the Niners. Chiefs might lose this one. You know what I'm saying? But overall, uh, which AFC quarterback is going to be able to step up, man? Because as of right now, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a quarterback in the AFC that can consistently
go toe to toe.
Toe to toe or a
Yeah.
team. This the knock. Like, I mean, bro, the Bills had their golden opportunity this year. The Ravens had
their opportunities.
I mean, this is
and
probably
they still.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
The Bills have had their opportunities. They finally got their opportunity at home to face Mahomes in the postseason. They said, I want him at home. Who wouldn't want Mahomes on the road? Especially when you've been knocking on that door, they couldn't get it done. The Bengals look like the closest thing to be knocking off Mahomes and the Chiefs, but they still can't do it consistently. The Ravens have had their chances, and Sunday afternoon was a perfect example. They're not there yet. Jacksonville sure as hell is not there yet. And there's just no hope right now in the AFC that anyone's going to beat Mahomes come postseason time. Not just now, but just in general moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst Chiefs team we're probably going to see. They're going to be better next year offensively.
They are going to be so much better. They're going to be so much better.
They might lose L'Jarius Sneed or Chris Jones, but, you know, their offense is going to be able to make up for. I think their offense is going to be a lot better than it was this year. So, I don't know, man. I made a video about it during the regular season before it even kicked off. I said this could be a down year in the dynasty for the Chiefs. And I was close because in the regular season, they definitely were not their best. They were the third seed. But
and they didn't look like just any third seed. They looked like a very below average 3 seed.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it was at one point during we talked about it the last podcast we got on here. The Raiders game on Christmas Day, they got embarrassed, man. And you're telling me a month later, not even a month later, a few weeks later, they're able to turn that switch. It's just championship DNA, man. Like these boys right here behind me, when they were in their heyday, the Miami Heat with LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron himself. I mean, Peyton Manning. Well, Peyton Manning got moments, but Tom Brady, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Tiger Woods. I mean, Serena Williams.
Put some respect on my boy Jimmy Butler, man.
When it comes to competing and knocking off and being underdog and overcoming a lot, I guess you can say that. But Mahomes is just different, man. I'm jealous. I wish we had a guy like this because I know I'm prolonging this monologue, but I mean, it's just
good.
When you have a quarterback like this, dog, it's just, man, you can never count yourself out. I don't give a damn who you got on your sideline, man. As long as you got 15 there.
I'd be down 24-0 in the postseason at home to the Houston Texans and still come back.
Come on, dog, bro. If you have 15 on that sideline, you're going to have a chance till the clock hits 0-0, man. But yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. I mean, that's another edge into the dynasty, being down 21-0 in the first quarter, and you just
24-0. Well, they were down 24-0. I don't know if it was the first quarter, but it was definitely the first half. Yeah, I remember watching that game in 2019. I want to say 2019, and like, oh, dude, Deshaun Watson and this team's got it in the bag.
Yeah,
and then little did I know Mahomes was gonna Mahomes. You know,
let's
before Mahomes really was Mahomes.
Exactly. And one more thing about this Chiefs team now. In years prior, we might have seen this Chiefs team kind of stumble on their two feet at times, right? They would have those miscues and put themselves in bad positions during games. They've been even killed as hell this postseason run. I don't see any mistakes made on that team. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has thrown a single interception
mental
yet.
Mistakes. Nope.
No fumbles. Well, outside of Mecole Hardman. No relapses defensively that I've noticed, like they're getting gashed, right? They might have had some chunk plays, that were some broken down plays by, Tyreek Hill and, of course, Zay Flowers this past weekend. But they've just been playing 4 quarters of great football, and we're not going to do anything dumb. We're going to let you make the mistake, and once you make that mistake, we're going to capitalize on it, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And that's what we saw yesterday against the Ravens. That's what we saw last week against the Buffalo Bills as well. So, yeah, man, dynasty. I mean, what can we say, dog? We're just living in it, and it's their world.
It is, and I want to ask you something about the dynasty part too, because you mentioned Tom Brady. You were talking about how, what Mahomes is doing right now is even more potent, really, when you kind of accumulate and factor everything into it. Is it more impressive with the fact that, sure, obviously Mahomes does not have all the accolades and the longevity yet, right? If his career ended today, but obviously we're basing this off projection, off the eye test, that he's the most talented quarterback at the quarterback position ever. I don't think that's unfair thing to say. And obviously, by the end of his career, from the way it's shaping, he's looking like he's going to be the GOAT, undisputed GOAT of football. So my question to you is, because the AFC has a lot more competition, more so at the top to bottom, especially in his division, versus what Tom Brady had to go with the Jets, the Dolphins, and who am I forgetting? The Bills, through all of those shitty years for 2 decades, essentially. Is it already more impressive what Mahomes has done since 2017 coming into the league, 2018 being a full-time starter, than what Brady's really done in 20 years, let's just say?
Well,
when you just factor that stuff into it.
It's tough to gauge because I don't have the numbers pulled up in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the Patriots with Brady, when he got the starting role, I think they strung off 3 straight championships, if I'm not mistaken. So that means they won, and I'm pretty sure they played in 4 straight Super Bowls. I don't know. I could be wrong though. I don't know.
I gotta go fact check. Yeah,
but I'll just say they got off to a very hot start. Let's look it up while I talk. But it may be more impressive given the fact that the competition is better, right? You see the quarterbacks in the AFC. You see how they're doing it, right? They're doing it very unconventional. It's not like they lining up under center. He's handing the ball off to running backs, right? His defense is now turning the corner and becoming something to be respected of. You know what I'm saying? They're one of the best defenses in football. It's definitely
a lot on that side of the ball too.
Yes, 4 Super Bowl appearances in the last 5 years. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive, man. Like I said, I'm pretty sure other quarterbacks in the AFC will grab one. And I think the main reason why the Patriots had that dip in those years is because I know one season Tom Brady was out for the rest of the year, and they were going through some roster changes.
He had an ACL injury. It was like in week 1 versus Kansas City.
And and they just faced. I think the quarterback competition is a lot better now, but I think they might have ran into some very great teams, right? They ran into the Colts, they ran into the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They ran into the trying to think who else might have knocked them off. The Giants in the Super Bowl, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Denver grabbed them one year as well.
I think Denver got him a year. I want to say Baltimore got him a year, maybe.
Yes, I think I forgot about Joe Flacco got him a ring too during that time. I forgot about that. But yes, I think Denver got him that year that when Denver went to face Seattle in New York in MetLife for the championship game, and they got blown out. Yes,
Super Bowl 48. I want to say,
yeah. So, this is definitely just as impressive, if not more. Like I said, the longevity is the only thing holding Mahomes back right now. We got to just wait to see how that turns out. But I mean, bro, he's working on ring 3 and he's only 28 years old.
I know it's only going to get. It's reminding me of almost like a Giannis. Only difference was Giannis took time to develop in the league, right? Coming in at a very young age, really filling into his body. But once you saw like what Giannis was going to be, and he started playing like a defensive player of the year and an MVP on both sides of the court in the same season, and you said, oh, this is going to be the guy to wreck the league and just dominate the league. And then he finally got over that hump. I think it's kind of what we're seeing, where I think Giannis got a ring at 26. Once he was 26, 27 when Milwaukee won, and that kind of trajectory in his career. And obviously Mahomes, I mean, we're going to have to wait to see the longevity, but I'm scared as shit of him. Like, he scares the living hell out of me. I don't even want to see the Chiefs in the postseason. I would just chalk it up as an automatic L, no matter how talented our team is. I would just pray that someone else knocks them off and that we could play that team in the AFC Championship game. I do not want to see Mahomes in Kansas City, no matter how depleted they are. As long as 15's on that sideline, even with an ankle injury in the postseason, he's still going to find a way to win. So that's the last guy I want to see.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay,
go ahead, talk to me.
The Patriots, their run to begin during the early 2000s, right? So Brady won 1 in 01. I guess they missed the playoffs in 02. They bounced back in 03, got to the championship game. 04, got to the championship game. So they went on a 2-peat. But they had won 3 in the last 4 seasons.
That's crazy.
05,
still.
Lost in the divisional round to the Broncos. 06, lost in the conference championship to the Colts. In 07, they lost to the Super Bowl Giants. In 07. 09, wild card loss. 10
they
wild
won,
card loss. Lost to the Jets. That was the Mark Sanchez.
When did they beat the Eagles then? That was 07. Was that 07 or 08 when they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl?
They beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl in 06. No, 05. No. Oh, 04. Oh, you talking about like the second time or the first time? Because the
No,
04 Super Bowl was in Jacksonville.
that's the one I'm referring to with Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, that was in
That was
04.
04?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
2005,
Okay.
February 6th, but the 04 season.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to think, bro. He didn't win another championship until 2014.
That's
Now,
wild.
they both had amazing starts because Mahomes is working on his third championship in the last 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
Brady had 3 championships in the first 4 years of his career. So they're on the same trajectory. You can have a two-part dynasty. Dynasties are meant to be broken. Have some dinks and dunks in it, right? There's a chance that this year he might not see the Super Bowl again for a while. But if he does, oh yeah, we're talking something different, man. We're talking something we never seen before at the NFL level, dog. If he wins this year and he gets back next year,
Even if they lose, even if he just makes it there. Yeah.
it's insane. Bro, you're talking about 5 AFC conference championship wins in the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's 6 years of someone's like there's 6-year-olds out here that are just learning to talk and get into kindergarten. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like that
And he's
means
been winning like that.
that's crazy, bro. But yeah,
He
man.
he's an anomaly. I don't think we're like, I mean, never say never. Like, we got a lot of life ahead of us. I don't think we'll ever see another Patrick Mahomes. I think he's so one of one. And I know you could, say like, okay, he's, like a Aaron Rodgers walk so Patrick Mahomes could run. Like, yes, I could agree with that sentiment, but the way Mahomes just somehow finds a way every time. Every time. It doesn't matter what's in front of him. It doesn't matter the adversity. It doesn't matter the situation around him or the roster around him. He finds a way. Like, how do we just negate that? Like, he's one of one. I'm almost to the point where we're never going to see another Mahomes. Almost the same way, like, we're never going to see another Steph Curry. The way, that's just
I
where
get
I'm
what
at
you're
with
saying.
it.
Like, there's someone that might come around in the next 30 years and break records that Mahomes has had in place. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not going to have the same
The
impact.
conventional, right? The same conventional way that Mahomes is doing. You're like, how the hell does he do it the way he does it?
Yeah, it's the way he's winning these games. You know, of course, it's a team accolade, of course, getting to these levels. The defense definitely had a huge turnaround. I don't know if they're here if the defense isn't the same defense they've been all year. But yeah, man. I mean, anytime you have a dynasty, dog, you have a dominating offense or a dominating defense, and he's definitely benefiting from a dominating defense. And it's just and a hell of a head coach, Andy Reid. We can't forget about that, man. Andy Reid has definitely waited his time. He's been a GOAT, well, not GOAT as of yet, but he's been a phenomenal head coach throughout his entire tenure in the league, and he's just now reaping the benefits of the things he worked on before. And he got the quarterback, he got the team, and he's just an unstoppable being right now. So, yeah, man. And, I don't want to glaze this team too much because they are in the AFC, and it definitely just. It hurts me that we're seeing another dynasty play out in this league. We just got one. We're entering a different
Especially
one,
in our
but
conference.
yes, man. Like I just like parity. That's why I like the NBA right now, man, because we have different teams winning the championship. Yeah, the Warriors just won one, but the Bucks won one. The Nuggets have won one. And we're going to probably see a different team this year. Probably the Thunder. The Heat might get back there. The Knicks. The
Knicks. Oh
Timberwolves
my gosh.
or
There we go.
somebody. We're going to see someone different this year. We might see the Nuggets repeat, but like it might be the 76ers. Who knows? But at least we're seeing a bit of different championships in the NBA instead of the NFL. Like I said, if I was a fan of this team, I would be shutting up right now and I wouldn't say a damn word if the Jaguars are doing this. But
of course.
It's just yeah, man. I mean, as of right now, dog, they're the undisputed greatest team in the league right now, and
absolutely the word dynasty can be used. It's valid.
Yeah, they're definitely a dynasty. I just don't see how you beat this team, man. I really don't. They figure it out. They figure it out. But.
And before I really move off of Kansas City, I wanted to tell you 2 Fridays ago, you're not gonna believe who I ran into. Former superstar for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Who?
Tyreek.
Yeah, where you ran into him at?
Yeah. Man, I was leaving the Magic game. We had just got done playing the Sixers. I had to watch that free throw merchant at the line 15 times, flopping and complaining.
Respect Joel Embiid, man.
Absolutely not. I will never. To put it plain and simple. And I went to the AC Sky Bar, the hotel, the truest hotel across the street from the Kia Center formerly known as Amway in Orlando. And as I'm getting off on the 18th floor, which is where the Sky Bar is at, I'm getting off the elevator. Tyreek's walking into the elevator, and like my mind just like flashed for a half second. I was like, "Shit, was that Tyreek Hill?"
Yeah.
Like you don't just expect to see Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
This was right after they had just lost to the Chiefs, right that same week. So he's with his baby mama or girlfriend or wife, fiance, excuse me, whomever she is, and she's kind of bad. But back to the point though, I was like, oh shit, I was like, I just initially was like, yo, what's up, Tyreek? Like, yo, what's up? You good, bro? He had a drink in his hand. I wasn't trying to sit there and bother. He's like, yeah, like, what's up, bro? Like, I'm good, man. Man, I hope you have a good night. I just left it at that. I wasn't about to sit there and keep grilling the guy. But I just was like, shit, that's Tyreek Hill. And as soon as the elevator closed, I was like, I took a moment to myself to process that. Like, did I just see Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, bro. You're in those positions, dog. Like you're in those lanes, man. You're gonna see a lot of people. I saw you had a video with Zay Jones, man.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, and as soon as I walked over to the bar, guess who was sitting there? Zay Jones. And sitting there chopping it up with him. Great bro, great dude. Zay Jones is the exact same guy. Isaiah Avery Jones is the exact same guy. Excuse me. He is on camera. He is off the field, on the field, etc. Great dude. Gives off great energy. Genuinely a very humble dude. Got nothing but love for him. So
yeah, he's been through a lot, man. So it's nice to see he's like that. Is Tyreek Hill really short in person, or is he like reckless?
He was short as shit, and I'm short. He was short as shit for sure. He was, bro was tiny as hell. Like, but he was stocky. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro was built like a football player.
Yeah, but he's really a small guy.
He's short as hell. Yeah. So, but I was just like, damn, I just walked by the best receiver in football. Like,
yeah, you think
he's
5'9",
bro? Thanks
for.
He's like 5'7". Like
damn.
I think he's like 5'7". I'm like, bro, I was like, I should have been like, man, thank you for carrying my fantasy team, bro. I got at the championship game because of you. I lost, but like I still got there because of you. So thank you, bro.
I had him too, man. He definitely carried me as well. That's what's up, though.
For real. That was like the best first round pick I think I've taken in a minute. Man, shout out to you, Tyreek Hill. But all right, let's get on to the other championship game. Let's move on to the National Football Conference. San Francisco 49ers hosted the Detroit Lions. Detroit, ultimately, the feel-good story came to an end. They had their opportunities to win that game. I believe they were up, 24 3? 24-10 going into half?
24-10 going into halftime.
But I think they were up 24-3 at one point.
Yes, they were.
Say. So look, they were up. They had a 21-point lead. Nonetheless, let's just call it what it is. 21-point lead. It faltered. San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, Super Bowl caliber team, championship DNA. They ultimately came back and won in Santa Clara. Go ahead and talk to me, man.
Honestly, I didn't really catch this game in full because I was exhausted. I was tired as hell, so I was in and out of sleep. But they got to a very hot start. Then I woke up. It was 24-10. I was like, okay, well, shit. I didn't make it in the game. Of course, there ain't gonna be no blowout, no conference championship game at Levi Stadium. Went back to sleep. Woke up. It was 24-24. I was like, what the hell just happened? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm watching the rest of the game. Oh boy, it really reminded me of the Jaguars 2017 AFC Championship loss against the Patriots, but a lot worse. Instead of playing conservative,
definitely worse.
You're not playing to lose. Instead, you play too much to win. You did way too much to win. I think, I'm not going to sit up here and say the analytics should stop in football. But at some point, we have to just sit there and be like, hey, man, I know what got you here.
Feel the game.
Yes. I know what got you here. Exactly. I know what got you here. I know you've been the aggressive head coach. That is your calling card, right? You're like the new era Ron Rivera, right? Riverboat Ron. Like that is your calling card of being an aggressive play caller or decision maker. But if you're up 24-10 or 24-17, and if you go up and extend it 10 more points or maybe even 14 points or just a total of additional damn near 4 game, I'm telling you, your team is going to play a lot better and not be pressing and not just looking like a deer in the headlights, bro. I feel like first of all, I think when you do stuff like that, in those moments when you need to get points on the board, first of all, you're trying the other team. You're basically saying that y'all can't stop us. You can't stop whatever we do. So y'all ain't nothing.
And when they do stop you,
Yeah, it's like, okay, like they trying the hell out of us, bro. Like, let's lock in. Like, we got this, bro. Like, they doing too much. Like, they pressing. So what happens after that? You know what I'm saying? They didn't kick a field goal. I think they threw a ball to Josh Reynolds. He dropped the key
Dropped it.
pass.
And guess what?
They
He
threw
dropped another one later on. Josh
exactly.
Reynolds dropped another big one on third.
Yes. So he dropped the fourth down catch. What happens the
Mhm.
next possession? The Niners go down there and score. It's 24-17. The Lions get the ball back. First possession, Jahmyr Gibbs fumbles. What
Mhm.
happens next to that? I think the Niners
They
might have
went
got
down
a
and
field
scored and
goal.
tied it
They
up.
scored. Yeah,
Oh,
tied
they
it
went
up.
down
It's
and
like
scored and tied it up 24-24.
exactly. And prior to that, you know, they had a chance to go up, like I said, 27-10, and they didn't do that, man. I feel like in those positions, though, like you got to get points, man. I think it's so hard, and it's a morale killer, and also it can be a momentum keeper if you just add more points to the board, man. Because at that point, now the other team is pressing. Now they're looking up, they're down by damn near 20 points. Now they got to say, okay,
Mhm.
like how the hell, like Brock Purdy might throw you another interception, right? You get more time on the possession. I just feel like they had a sizable lead, up by 17 points at one point, and they just failed to add more to the total. And that's an indictment on the head coach, man. I know what got you there, the aggressive play calling, but that's bad, man. I mean, like I know his his post game interview definitely moved me. I will say, like he was saying, like yes, you know, I should have made better decisions, but at the end of the day, like I told this team already, I don't know if we're going to be here again next year. Like, and just being honest, like it is twice as hard to get here the following season, and I understand that. But in that particular moment, Dan, you have to get points on the board. No one's mad
Mhm.
at you if you go out there and kick field goals. Like if your field goal kicker misses one, then I understand going for it, but at least give him a shot, right? Let them go out
Mhm.
there and put more points on the board. And I'm telling you, your players play better. They play with more confidence. They have more control of the game. And the opposing team looks at it like, damn, bro,
And you
we're
can call
down
the
by
game
20.
differently. You can call the game
Exactly.
differently if you're up 10 versus up 7. In that
Exactly. And
moment,
who
you can make a
exactly.
manage the
And who
clock
knows?
differently.
Exactly. And who knows when you go up 27-10 and you get the ball back next possession, you could take another shot down the field and hit and
Mhm.
then be the haymaker, the nail in the coffin. You know, now you're up damn near four score. Yeah, you're up four scores. It would have been what 34 or 35-10 at that point.
Mhm.
Man, that would have been game. So I just felt as if, you know what I'm saying, he just did way too much to win the game, and it came back to haunt him. And as for the Niners, I mean, way to stick through it. I think Brock Purdy showed us a lot of things. I think he played very bad in the first, not very bad, but I think he played very, very pedestrian in that first half. But in the second half, he and the entire team answered. One thing about him, dog, I noticed that he's very even killed, right? I think that's one thing I noticed about Brock Purdy. He never gets rattled, and I think that's a great
Mhm.
character, characteristic to have as a franchise quarterback in this league, right? He made big time throws. The receivers definitely made some big time catches. They had some lucky catches as well. That Brandon Ayuk off the Lions player's helmet, that was insane. Made that happen, of course. Josh Reynolds one-handed catch. You know, Christian McCaffrey ran the ball very hard. I mean, they just had some things fall into their way, of course, in the second half. But at the end of the day, the Lions had a chance to put him to bed, and they kept playing around. They played with their food, and the food ended up coming back on them and eating them. You know what I'm saying? So,
So it
yeah,
sounds like to you it's more Lions losing than it is 49ers winning.
100%, 100%, man. This is 100% all on the Lions. The Lions definitely lost this game more than the Niners actually winning, in my opinion. And no discredit to the line. I mean, the 49ers, because they did a phenomenal job. They had to come back, and they did that. But I'm
Mhm.
telling you, if the Lions put up those 6 points in field goals, we're talking the Lions going to the championship for the first time in NFL, or first time in their franchise's history.
That would be crazy to see the Lions, who would have came into this season with a lot of expectations, with everyone thinking, okay, maybe this team gets into the postseason. Maybe this team can finally get that playoff berth that everyone's been wanting to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make it to the Super Bowl, and they were just moments and plays and a couple opportunities away from getting there, like you said. Now, how crazy would it have been if the first game of the season, Chiefs Lions, would have been the last game of the season, Chiefs Lions? Like, that would have been crazy. Not a lot of people are talking about that, if that
Yeah,
was the
it'd have been
case.
definitely crazy. You would have had, yeah, it would have been insane. Man, if I was a fan right now, I probably couldn't even podcast today, dog. Like it's just,
Hell no. Hell, I could not talk about this today.
bro,
Hell
that's just such
no.
a
Gut
heartbreaking loss.
wrenching.
It's like
Because we know how
breathtaking,
hard it is
dog.
just to win in this league. It's hard enough to
Yes.
win your division, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
division you play. It's hard
Mm-hmm.
to win your division. And then it's like, all right, let's get into the postseason. We got 3 shots at it, maybe 2 if you're lucky and you get the bye. But you've got to knock off good-ass teams any given Sunday. Doesn't matter how talented you are. Doesn't matter who's up on the opposite side of the ball from you. Sometimes you get in your own way, right? We saw Baltimore get in their own way plenty of times. There was a Dallas versus Green Bay. Got in their way plenty of times. Yes, Green Bay went in there and they took care of business, but plenty of opportunities where Dallas shooting themselves in the foot. We saw Jacksonville this season. Plenty of games where they clearly beat themselves, and it ultimately reflected on the scoreboard in the outcome of the game. So with Detroit, you're right. This is absolutely more Detroit losing this game than it is San Francisco, and that's not to take away or discredit San Francisco from their comeback. And I don't fault, I guess, Dan Campbell for going for it on the first one. I didn't mind that one. Josh Reynolds catch the ball. We're having a different conversation if you catch the ball, right? Regardless if they would have gone down and capitalized still, they probably would have still gotten some points out of that. Regardless, that was in your hands, Josh Reynolds. Everyone wants to talk about Dan Campbell and the play calling. If he catches that ball, like I said, we're probably still having a different conversation. But nonetheless, Dan Campbell, you left points on the board. You ultimately cost your team at least 6 points. We're going to assume the field goal kicker goes out there and trots out there and makes these kicks. Yes, you're probably representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. And that within and itself is already an accomplishment. Getting to the conference championship game is an accomplishment. The season's not a failure for Detroit. This season, they overachieved still. But it's still gut-wrenching because expectations change and they temper based upon what we're witnessing on a week-by-week basis in a week-by-week league. And Detroit had everything to lose, and they lost it all. Because, like I said, they played with their food. They got too aggressive. They got too cute. And they let that home crowd, maybe if you were at home, maybe if you were at Ford Field, the momentum wouldn't have flipped as much, right? Even though we saw Jahmyr Gibbs go down and fumble, and then San Francisco went down and got that touchdown to tie up the game. Maybe if you're at home, the crowd is going to be on your side. The momentum's always going to be on your side. It just sucks, man, bro. I feel so bad for Detroit fans. And last thing about Detroit real quick. I had Jags fans telling me like, well, I'm not rooting for Detroit because I can't let a team get to the Super Bowl before the Jags do because, the Jags have never been to a Super Bowl. I'm like, what the hell kind of logic is that? First of all, you should be rooting for Detroit because you've seen how long that fan base has suffered for. And second of all, we can relate to them. We're the closest thing to relating to the Detroit Lions is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Seriously. I don't understand the precedent of, well, I'm not going to root for that team because then it's going to make us look even worse. Or I'm not going to root for a team that's not in Duval County. Like, come on, bro. Like, have some sense of pride in just the feel-good story of what Detroit's been through. But, whatever. That's neither here nor there. That's their opinion.
Yeah. One thing, this is why I'm not a Jaguar content creator, and I credit you for it, man. Jaguar fans are weird. I love my Jags. And I love my immediate friends and close people that I'm on Twitter with that are fans.
Yeah.
But the Jaguar community as a fan base, some of them are very weird,
very toxic,
very I don't know, just weirdos, man. But no, like I'm a fan of football. I love my Jaguars, of course, but like
same, man. I love football. I love basketball.
I love
man.
football.
I got no problem rooting for other people.
Yeah, like I like. I'm not saying I'm gonna sit up here and be like Lion Pride or chant the Lions anthem, but like no.
Hell, I felt like a big Lions fan yesterday, man, rooting for them, bro. I was genuinely happy for that city, for that fan base, for the
like I wouldn't go that. Yeah, me personally, I wouldn't go that far, but at the end of the day, I still get it, right? Like I definitely would like to see the Lions, accomplish something that has been accomplished in franchise history. But with the Lions team, going back to them real quick, I just don't know where they go from here. Like Dan Campbell said, it's definitely gonna be tough to get back to this spot, but they gotta upgrade their secondary. The secondary is pretty bad, right? They got abused by Debo and Brandon Ayuk, of course. They might have to fix the interior defensive line as well. They got to go up there and grab them more receivers, not named Josh Reynolds, who was very solid for them this year. I just think the lights might have been too bright for him in this moment. I like the running attack and I like the offensive line, and I think Jared Goff is good enough to get you a championship, in my opinion. I think he did everything right in this game to win. Yeah, so they're probably going to replace Ben Johnson this offseason more than likely. Ben Johnson's probably the next Commanders head coach. So, they definitely have some issues to clean up, not issues, but problems to solve this offseason. But it's just very tough right now. Now the Niners, though, let's circle back to them. for a team that's been dominated this entire season, it's very weird and funny to me that we're seeing this team go through adversity in the worst moment, right? You
Yeah.
shouldn't be facing as much adversity for a championship contender, right? In these moments. Like you face adversity throughout the regular season, right? Maybe middle of the year, maybe because your team is injury plagued and stuff like that. You go through adversity like that, but not come playoff time. You're supposed to be in your A game playoff time. And back-to-back weeks, especially this game, they played behind the 8 ball and they found a way. And I think it's very interesting and funny because during the Kyle Shanahan tenure, it is known that this team cannot come back from double-digit scores. And they've done it
Record
twice.
says it all.
In back-to-back weeks, right? This team has developed a new character of being able to overcome adversity. And that's crazy to me, man. You can not count this team out. Like they can be down, they've shown they can be down now 17 points and still find a way to come out and win. You say that the Lions might have had a different momentum swing if they were at home. I don't know because I think the Niners might have come out with a better sense of urgency if they're on the road in comparison to being home. I know playing with the home crowd can definitely have you play a bit softer. We saw that with the Ravens today, and yesterday, and they couldn't come out of that hole. We saw with the Niners, but they were able to. But yeah, I mean, this Niners team, I mean, they have everything in place to win a championship. I think Brock Purdy is playing some good football right now. Like it's not the best, but it's definitely serviceable. He's a year 2 quarterback. We have to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't even be here right now, but he is, and he's doing enough, in my opinion. He made some big time plays in the clutch. I think Steve Wilkes does a really good job at halftime adjustments as well. I think the defense played a lot better in the second half of football in comparison to the first, although the Lions did bail them out a bunch of times because they were still getting moved on. But this Niners team definitely looking a bit questionable right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the most confidence.
Green Bay should have
right
beat
now.
them. The way Green Bay played, Green Bay should have beat them.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Love. I mean they tried to go for 3 points, and Anderson Carlson, what do you call it? Nepotism baby, from his brother. He's trash. He don't need to be in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, he failed in that kicking situation. But, they still had a chance to win that game outside of the Carlson missed field goal and, of course, Jordan Love just throwing up to nobody and it being intercepted. So, but regardless of the fact, though, this Lions game definitely stings a lot more, man, because they were up 17 points. And you just can't let that happen, man. I think any other team in the Lions position, I think they put that game away and win. I'll be honest.
Man,
I think if you had, I
think Green Bay. I think if the Green Bay would have, I think, put that game away with what they've shown me, especially towards the end of the season. Who?
Dallas as well. Dallas, the Cowboys. Then they would have put it away.
Yeah, that defense probably would have put them away at that point. But Dallas has also shown the inability to even remotely put up a fight with San Francisco. But if we were to give Dallas the benefit of the doubt and say that they were in that position where they were up 24-3 at one point, right? I'm sure Dallas would have probably put San Francisco away at that point.
And you know who else is going to do it too if they get to that point?
Don't say the Rams.
No, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
if the Chiefs are up 24-10 at any point during the game, they're not losing.
If the Chiefs have a 10-point lead at any point of the game, it's over. The Kansas City is going to.
I don't know about 10 points. 10 points is easy to come
I'm confident in saying that.
The Niners have way, way, way better weapons than the Ravens, and I think they have better weapons than the Dolphins and the Bills. So I think if they go up 10, I think you're still kind of like, okay. But if they're up 17 or 20 to this Niners team, oh yeah, they're winning. Like you might as well turn the game off. Like that defense is not giving it. No matter what that Chiefs offense can do, that defense isn't surrendering a 20-point comeback. I tell you that. Like 24 unanswered points was insane. The Lions gave up. That was insane.
It was, and it was all within 8 minutes. It was a blink of an eye, and it was like it was gone, evaporated.
It was like a run of basketball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just had a 10-0 run. Like you just were up 10, now you're down by 1. Like it's crazy. But go ahead, my bad. I'll cut you off.
No, it is good. Like I said, I think a lot of that's poor clock management, right? Like you said, being too aggressive, but also, I mean, there's just some things you just can't predict, like Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling on the first play of the drive, right? You're gonna give it to your back who you trust, who's been great all season long. That's just an unfortunate play and an unfortunate circumstance. And that obviously that was the play right there that just basically sealed the momentum going for San Francisco because they were down 24-17 at that point, I believe. So, I mean, just look, I give credit to San Francisco. I think Detroit obviously had this game in the bag. They didn't take advantage of that opportunity. Maybe in that very moment when they realized, like, are we going to do this? Maybe the lights were too bright. Maybe Dan Campbell was too aggressive. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of this Detroit team. I think they've got a lot to hang their hats on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no moral victories in this league, but hell of a season, right?
Yeah,
I hope that they didn't have a 2021 Atlanta Hawks run where they made a conference finals. I hope that's not the case because I think it's fun when Detroit's good and they have a fun team to root for, right? They don't have
yeah.
a bunch of annoying guys that, really upset me. I like Jared Goff. I think everyone likes Dan Campbell. I like
Mm-hmm.
Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. I don't really like Aiden Hutchinson, but I like Brian Branch. I like Sam Laporta. I like these
Brian.
guys.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Brian Branch. Yeah, Brian Branch.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love Brian Branch. Should have been a Jaguar.
What I was gonna say, I saw someone
Yeah,
compare that.
I, I
I
really
think it
hope
might have
that they
been
didn't. It was
what?
John.
Yeah,
John
John
Tortorella.
Tortorella.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out to
yeah.
pick
He
aside, man.
said,
Shout out to Johnny Boy.
yeah. So I'm hoping that's not the case, man, because this team is too damn good, too damn talented, with the right coach, with just a culture I think everyone just wants to buy into,
Mm-hmm.
and it all obviously came crashing down.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Detroit fans, man. I really wish y'all had it differently.
So you hear what Dan Campbell says about it's gonna be even harder, 2 times as hard to get back here next year, and they might not be here.
You need to get that
You
number
know,
one scheduled next year too.
yes, okay, and the NFC North will be a lot better next year with the
Much
Minnesota
better.
Vikings being healthy. The Packers are looking a very formidable team, and of course, the Bears are going to get Caleb Williams, and their defense is
No, they're not
rocking right
getting
now.
Caleb Williams. They're not getting Caleb
We'll
Williams.
talk about that later. They're getting Caleb
Okay.
Williams, but
Justin
regardless of
Fields
the
the
fact, though,
answer.
they're going to be a good team regardless next year too. And like you said, they got the number one schedule in their division. So is Dan right? Will this team not be in the position to be here next year?
Any given Sunday.
Any given
Any
Sunday, you're
given
right.
Sunday. It is,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't care for the 7th seed. I don't care for the number 1 seed. The margin of error, it is a game of inches. It absolutely is. That's something I've definitely learned to grow and appreciate after studying football a little bit more deeply, these last couple of years, really taking it to a deeper level, analyzing the game in different ways, going back and watching film, different things. And it most certainly is a game of inches. One play, one miscommunication on a route, one blown coverage can absolutely change the entire altering of a game, which might cost your season. It's just that simple. And it really might, hey, maybe Zay Flowers doesn't fumble that ball and we're having a different conversation too. Little things like that too. Things you just can't predict. Tom Monken call it the correct play. Lamar Jackson delivers the ball. Zay Flowers goes out there and tries to make a play, and it just ends up just being a bang bang play. So congratulations to Kansas City. I was for sure not rooting for them. I was absolutely not rooting for Travis Kelce in that game. But I respect the greatness. I respect Mahomes. I respect Andy Reid and the dynasty that they're building. As much as it pains me to say it, I respect it. I can be objective. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Detroit on an impressive season. And congratulations to San Francisco. We're going to have a full Super Bowl preview next week, giving our thoughts, giving our predictions. But I can tell you right here, right now, I'm not rooting for Kansas City.
Yeah, you cannot root for them, but when we sit down and diagnose this a little bit, you're gonna be like,
we can have a different conversation. My bias fan, and then also my objective. Who am I picking? And then we'll break the game down.
Yeah,
That's
man.
just where I'm at with it.
It's very interesting, you know what I'm saying? Just to touch base on it just a little bit. We're not going to do a deep dive, of course, but I think it's a nice story, even though I didn't want to admit it throughout this entire season. But, year 2 quarterback and Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, is going to the Super Bowl, right? Kyle Shanahan, this is this guy. They kind of screwed up the whole quarterback situation with Trey Lance, but, for somehow, some way it worked out for them, right? They got a lot of great players on that team. They're back into a position where they thought it should have been last year, and it's a Super Bowl 53 rematch. So, it's going to be exciting. Chiefs, Niners again. I'm trying to make the best out of it because going into this games this weekend, I didn't want to see this. This was the least outcome I was looking forward to, but it ended up happening. So, we'll see. It's going to be a very fun game, I would say. It's in Las Vegas. Raiders fans are probably sick to their stomach because 2 of their biggest rivals are playing in their stadium. You know what I'm saying? So, but it should be fun. Yeah, man. And also one thing I like to say, I like to pay my respects to Travis Kelce. I think this year in totality, I've been kind of, You're thinking like, damn, man, he might be hanging it up after this year, man, or he might be taking a step back in his play. But these last 2 weeks, he's been on fire. This is arguably the best he's been all season. And I don't know why people try to equate it to him being with Taylor Swift and stuff like that, or whatever the case may have been. I just think that he was seriously injured this year, right? I mean, he wasn't even
He
supposed to
had to
play. If
have
you don't
been.
remember, he wasn't even supposed to suit up week 1 against the Lions, right? Because he had, I think he
He
partially
didn't suit up.
forced.
He didn't
He
suit up
didn't.
versus the Lions. No.
Right. He didn't play, so he wasn't the healthiest this season to begin with. So I just think that he was playing majorly hurt the entire season, and he is finally being able to get healthy, and we're seeing it, man. Because I think Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are phenomenal safeties, but he embarrassed them. I think Kyle Hamilton is the best safety in football, and he embarrassed him in
He's
moments.
playing like it.
Yeah. So Travis Kelce, I tip my hat to you, man. You're not washed whatsoever. You were just banged up, and you're still one of the best receiving
He's the
options in this
greatest
league for
tight end
sure,
I've
man.
ever seen.
Greatest
He's
tight
for
end
sure
ever,
the
man.
greatest. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
never
listen,
going to compare. I'm never going to compare Brady and Gronk because what they had was so much more of a routine, right? Of, hey, I just know where you're going to be and I'm going to get you the ball. With Mahomes and Kelce, it is that. And Kelce will find the soft spot in zones, but it's the improv. It's consistently the improv. It's like it is literally impossible, yet they find a way to get it done consistently.
Yeah,
And like I said, everyone knows where the ball is going. It's
Yeah.
not just the Ravens. It is every team in the NFL. You know where the ball is going, and you still can't stop it.
Yeah, I don't think Travis Kelce has a legitimate route tree with the Chiefs. I don't think he does. I
No.
think he just kind of just runs his soft routes and just, okay, where I feel how the defense is shifting, let me just go here. I feel how Patrick Mahomes, I feel his eyes moving this way, let me just go here. There's got a great chemistry. It's like pick and roll, point guard and center. We're going to run this pick and roll. Either you fade to the top of the key, hit the little midi, or you drive to the basket and funk on somebody. No one's going to stop it. So we'll just keep running it. So that's what it is. Like, you know it's coming, but no one can stop it, man. That's just a testament to how elite and phenomenal that duo is, man. But that's all I got, though, man. Shout out to those two teams. Wasn't what I imagined, especially for the Chiefs, but hey, they're here. You got to respect greatness. They're the dynasty of this new era of the 2020s. And yeah, man, shout out to Patrick Mahomes. Just glad a black man's doing it, man. That's all I can say. You know,
100%.
African American quarterback doing this, man, is phenomenal to see. I'll hang my hat on that. Yeah, put the narrative to sleep, man. Patrick Mahomes is an anomaly. And, you know, I think Lamar Jackson has a chance. I think Josh Allen has a chance. I think Trevor, Herbert, Joe Burrow have a chance as well. But as of right now, the king is Patrick Mahomes. Exactly. He's the king. And if you swing at the king, if you try to challenge the king, you best not miss. And these quarterbacks and these teams have been missing badly. So shout out to the Chiefs. Shout out to the Niners. And I'm excited for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, February, 5th, 4th? So, yeah.
I think February 4th. Yeah, February 4th. Oh, wait, no, that should be – no, that's the Pro Bowl. Or no, is it February 4th? It is. It is. Damn, bro. We got the Super Bowl coming up right around the corner, man. And then 7 months of no football, man. 7 months of no football is going to be hard. Grady, not pretty. We've talked about it. Grady, not pretty.
Grady,
San Francisco. San Francisco did it. Kansas City did it. It was Grady, not pretty. Found a way to get there. And they're going to be representing their respective conferences this upcoming week in the Super Bowl, man, this upcoming Sunday. So, yeah, me and Darian are going to have a full pod talking about it next week, man. Niners versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl in Vegas, like you said. What is it called? Allegiant Stadium? I want to say it's called Allegiant Stadium, something like that. Yeah. They're playing in Vegas, man. Obviously, brand new stadium, beautiful facility. Episode 9 in the books. Great episode, man. Grateful that, we still get to enjoy a little bit of football before it is eventually all gone. Like I said, after this Super Bowl is going to be here, man. So next pod, we'll have everything previewed up. Episode 9 in the building, man. Championship recap. Thank you guys again for sticking around throughout the entire episode. If you guys could, go ahead and follow us on our socials. If you guys are watching this through the visuals, you guys will find everything in the link tree down below. If you guys are watching this, if you guys are listening to this via audio, whether that's through Google Podcasts, Spotify, however you guys get the visuals, the audio, make sure you guys also go ahead and follow us on our socials, man. The link trees are in the description, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But we'll catch you guys around next week, next Wednesday for episode 10 of the Super Bowl preview. And like always, you guys, don't overthink it.